What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And in today's video I am doing my part 3 for the mock draft, and this will be picks 21 to 32. Now keep in mind that because I did part 1 and part 2, I did part 1 like a week ago, so obviously things might have changed, but I'm still sticking with it. And also keep in mind that because this is from picks 21 to 32, it's very unlikely that I get even any of these picks right, but it's all for the experience. And yeah, let's just get right into this. But remember, if you guys like these videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel, as it does help out a lot. Okay, so the Indianapolis Colts are on the clock, and they need an edge defender to replace Justin Houston. I don't really think that they need a wide receiver. They got Michael Pittman Jr., they got T.Y. Hilton. They have decent wide receivers. Edge is a more pressing issue. Tackle is also a big issue because Anthony Costanzo, I think he retired. But I think that they will grab the best edge rush in the draft class because, the way it fell out, no edge rushers have gone off the board, so they are going to take Kwity Paye, the best edge rusher in my opinion in the draft class, at number 21. So this is okay. So this is probably where edge rushers start flying off the board, but the Tennessee Titans are on the clock now. They could take an edge rusher because they literally have 0 sacks. But they did get Bud Dupree in free agency, so maybe they want to go a different direction. They lost Corey Davis in free agency, so they could go after Rashad Bateman. They also need secondary because literally all of their secondary left except for Kevin Byard. So that is what I'm going to have them do, except for not quite. So I'm gonna have them trade back with the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know, maybe a future third and a sixth in order to make this happen or something like that. Oh God. What about a seventh and a fourth or something? I don't know. I'm not an NFL G. I'm just okay. Thank you. So the Baltimore Ravens are gonna trade up to get the best the best wide receiver left on the board, who's a great fit for them, and they need wide receivers because good Lord, man, that passing game was not good. I mean, that running game was amazing, but that passing game was not good last season. And they will get Rashad Bateman to help out. They already got Sammy Watkins in free agency, and now they will get another wide receiver for Lamar Jackson to use. Okay, so next is the New York Jets. Now you already took so you already took what's his name? You took Zach Wilson, so you need to surround him with pieces to work with. Now you already got Corey Davis in free agency. You already have Jamison Crowder, but you don't really have a running back. So that's what I'm gonna have them take. Gonna have them take Najee Harris, who is the best running back in the class, and they will get a staple at the running back position to work with Zach Wilson and make sure that Zach Wilson doesn't bust, because that's really what you got to do. You got to make sure that Zach Wilson doesn't bust by surrounding him with pieces to work with, and that starts with your running back, your offensive line, and your wide receiver. And they really don't have a running back, and I have them getting Najee Harris. Okay, so Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock, and they are going to take Walter Little. So they need a left tackle bad because Alejandro Villanueva left in free agency. And in all honesty, they need 3 offensive linemen. They gotta address the offensive line a lot in this draft class. They need a left tackle, left guard, and a center. You could even argue they need a right tackle. So yeah, they need offensive line. So I don't buy this oh, just go get offensive linemen later down in the draft, and especially since Najee Harris is already off the board, you really have no choice other than to get Walker Little, who is a great fit for your team, and he fills a position of need, and you're not really overdrafting for him. Because that offensive line was bad last season. People don't really know because Ben Roethlisberger threw the ball so quick, so he really didn't get sacked too much. But that run blocking offensive line was just terrible. Those running backs did not have any lanes to run through, and Walker Little will help out with that. So the next team is the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the Jaguars are on the clock, and again, like they drafted Trevor Lawrence, so what they need to do is surround him with weapons, and to do that, they need to draft a wide receiver. So, let's look at this wide receiver board. I mean, I like Kadarius Toney, but is he worth drafting at 25 ahead of Elijah Moore? You know what? Like this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think Kadarius Toney is better than Elijah Moore, Terrence Marshall Jr. and Rondale Moore, even though PFF has them in like that position. So I am going to be giving them. I could give them Terrence Marshall though. No, I'm gonna give them to Kadarius Toney to give Trevor Lawrence a good wide receiver target to pair up with DJ Chark to make sure that again he doesn't bust. Now I do think that there is a higher probability that Zach Wilson busts than Trevor Lawrence, but like you gotta surround these young quarterbacks with weapons and protection to make sure that they don't bust. Like it's just like it's just like to make sure that you don't look stupid by taking them at number 1 or number 2. Okay, so number 26, the Cleveland Browns are on the clock, and what they will do is they are going to get an edge defender. Now, I think they'll go Jason Owe, because they got Myles Garrett, right, and they also got Jadeveon Clowney, so they got the pass rushers, but they still need another guy to play on the edge, even though Jadeveon Clowney is also going to play on the edge, and like that guy can also slide into the inside. I'm debating between Jason Owe and Jalen Phillips. You know what? I think I'm actually going to give them Jalen Phillips, because he'll help them with their run blocking, and because that defense was not good, and he'll help out Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney on that front 7. So I'll give them Jalen Phillips. Now, the Tennessee Titans traded back, and because safeties are valued, like they're like kind of like running backs, like no one really wants to take them so high. So Trevon Moehrig is going to fall in the draft. Now they definitely could just stay where they were and draft him, but this way they get an extra few picks and still get the guy that they want, because again, like I said, they literally let everyone go in that secondary, so they got to get some pieces back. And like that defense was already bad, and now it's going to be even worse because you let go of all your players. So you got to start rebuilding there, and it starts with Trevon Moehrig to pair up with Kevin Byard on that back end. Now, the Saints are on the clock, and they are going to get a wide receiver because other than Michael Thomas, they really don't have anyone like of note. Like, yeah, they really just don't have anyone. So I am going to have them get Terrence Marshall Jr., the LSU wide receiver, and have him be either Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston's prime target, other than Michael Thomas, obviously, because again, like you gotta surround your quarterback with weapons, and because your quarterback really isn't that good, you just have like their offensive line's already good, so you just gotta get them weapons. You already have Alvin Kamara. You just gotta get weapons for him to throw to, and that is going to be Terrence Marshall, who will be a good complement to Michael Thomas. Now, the Green Bay Packers are on the clock, and they need a cornerback. I mean, like, they re-signed, I think his name was, like, Kevin King or something like that. But, yeah, he is not the answer. You got Jair Alexander. You need another solid cornerback to pair on the opposite side with. Now, you could obviously get a wide receiver because I think I saw somewhere that they aren't going to have a wide receiver under contract next season if they, like, don't re-sign any players, which obviously they will. They'll obviously re-sign Devontae Parker and all that. But I think that offense was already good, and you need to get a better defense, and that starts with the cornerback position to cover all of those Tampa Bay weapons. So I'm going to give them Asante Samuel Jr. All right, the Washington football team is now on the clock at number 30. So they traded back, and they are going to get a wide receiver. I mean, like, they really... I suppose they could like go for a tackle, but in all honesty, they like really need a wide receiver because other than Terry McLaurin, they don't have anyone on the team who is like even remotely good. So I'm going to give them Elijah Moore, so they'll have at least like a second second option to pair up with Terrence McLaurin for Fitzmagic to throw to. Okay, next is the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I already picked Rashawn Bateman for them. Now they are going to get, because they traded Orlando Brown for this pick, and now they got some few extra picks, but you still gotta fill up that offensive line, and I think that they will get Tevin Jenkins to basically be their Orlando Brown replacement. And so they used that first-round draft pick on a replacement for Orlando Brown, but they still got like a third and a fifth or whatever they got from the trade along with the deal. So it isn't like the worst thing in the world. And Tevin Jenkins will start immediately for them at the right tackle, and he won't be a bitch and complain about not playing left tackle. So, and he wants to get paid left tackle money, and besides, his contract will be in 5 years. So yeah, you won't have any of those problems with Orlando Brown. Okay, now the Buccaneers are on the clock at number 32, and I have them taking Gregory Rousseau. Now, this might be an interesting pick, but Gregory Rousseau is like the edge rusher with the high ceiling, but he's like the least ready to play. And I feel like with the nature of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, since they have like really good players at every single position, they're basically drafting for depth and the future, and Gregory Rousseau has the high ceiling. They can develop him, and then when JPP or Ndamukong Suh or whoever inevitably leaves or retires, you can just plug a polished up Gregory Rousseau in, who has the highest ceiling out of any edge rusher in this draft class, and you can coach him up, and then after a year or so, he can start, in the first year, he can just play limited snaps. In the second or third year, he will be a full-time starter, and he'll just tear it up. So I have them taking Gregory Rousseau. Alright, well anyways, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and if you guys did, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Too easy!